All right, well, hello everyone. It's digital host A.J. Wuest welcoming you back to Before the Four this Thursday afternoon. I hope everyone is having a great day, soaking in some of this beautiful weather we're seeing. Looks like the weather is here to stay nice today and tomorrow before this weekend it starts, or the threat of rain is going to be moving into the valley, unfortunately. But wherever you're watching Before the Four today, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or the 48 Now live stream, as always, thank you so much for watching and spending just a little bit of your Thursday afternoon here. As I mentioned earlier, Memorial Day weekend is coming up, and maybe you're looking to travel and get away for a quick 3-day weekend. 48 First Alert Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis has everything you need to know. Brad?
Well, good Thursday afternoon. The nicest weather of the week is today and then again tomorrow as we approach the weekend. Unfortunately, holiday weekend, a lot of big outdoor weekend plans, celebrations due to graduations as well, and it's going to rain. I don't think it's going to rain all day Saturday, but it's probably going to rain most of the day, Memorial Day on Monday. And we're going to have periods of showers and thunderstorms into Saturday afternoon and then again Sunday morning into Sunday afternoon. So right now, bright and beautiful, kind of a tease ahead of this weekend. 80 right now in Huntsville, Decatur, and the rest of the metro area. Close to 80 in Muscle Shoals and Russellville. Here's your 7 and your 10-day forecast. 78 tomorrow, 72 Saturday. The rain early in the day, and then Sunday, periods of showers and thunderstorms late morning into the afternoon. And we're probably covered up most of the day Monday the way it looks now, and we'll continue to see that on Tuesday. And right now, it looks like the next real break in the weather will come Wednesday and Thursday. A few of the storms could be on the strong side, just given the fact that, hey, it's late May, maybe even early June kind of weather here. So it's expected this time of year. I don't really see any overall growing concern for severe weather, but we'll keep an eye on that too. By 4 o'clock in the afternoon Saturday, some areas will get a break, and it's possible that main area will slide off to the southeast during the afternoon, and the late afternoon looks good for most areas. That's the way it could turn out. And then we reload here Sunday, late morning into the afternoon, additional showers and thunderstorms. The Gulf Coast doesn't look as bad if you're traveling south. But again, Monday looks like a super soaker around here. 2 to 3 inches of rain on the way this weekend. I'll have complete details coming up at 4, 5, and 6.
Super soaker. That is certainly not what I wanted to hear there. For some reason, this is not wanting to. 1 second,
well, good Thursday afternoon.
Oh, sorry about that, y'all. We are experiencing a few technical difficulties back here, but 1 second. You all know Weather Extra. That will be, as always, tonight at 9:30, and I am still working to get this back up here. Here we are, right there. Weather Extra tonight at 9:30. 48 First Alert Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis. He'll be back here in the CTV Center, and he'll be giving you all the latest, as he mentioned there, that super soaker that could be moving in to the Tennessee Valley for Memorial Day. He'll have all those details coming up, so you're just not going to want to miss it. Now, continuing our coverage of the May 20 tornadoes. Yesterday, 48's Nick Ballinger went down to Killingsworth Cove, an area that saw some of the worst damage in the Tennessee Valley, after a now confirmed EF2 tornado touched down. Let's take a look.
There it is, right here.
Tornadoes tormenting North Alabama residents Tuesday night, leaving nothing but a path of family keepsakes and belongings for a Madison County family to sort through.
21 years of marriage is all scattered a half mile up the road. You know, that's the best way I can describe it.
Killingsworth Cove resident Dusty Gibson spent the entirety of Wednesday rummaging through what he spent 2 decades building.
Just all the things that you want to take with you and you want to pass back down to your kids one day.
The National Weather Service confirming Wednesday afternoon it was an EF2 tornado, just 2 miles per hour short of an EF3 that touched down for 7 minutes, taking Gibson's home with it. He and his family were in a nearby shelter.
Listen, I could see the path that the tornado had cut behind my house. I knew that it wasn't going to be good. Our kids having to deal with, you know, losing all of their things. You can't prepare a kid for that.
But Gibson says things can be replaced.
We only know hard work. Just keep pushing forward no matter what.
even if it takes a village of family, friends, neighbors, and even total strangers.
I got 2 hands that work, and I ain't gonna sit on them while people around me need help.
People showed up before daylight this morning.
So while toys, decorations, and food may be destroyed, the togetherness of a community is alive and well.
Everybody wants to think everybody's so different these days, but I mean, look around. Everybody's here helping. Nobody's talking about anything but what we can do next.
Oh, it means the world. I mean, that means the world. It does.
Nick Ballinger, 48 News, on your side.
You said that they,
And Nick today will be in Madison reporting on all the storm damage out there. An EF2 tornado touched down out there as well Tuesday night. He'll have the latest coming up in our evening newscasts. But now moving out to Albertville with the story in case you missed it. Tuesday night during the storms, the Albertville Public Library caught fire with a cat named Max stuck inside. 48 Savannah Sapp has details on that fire, and thankfully, Max was saved. Let's take a look.
Well, library staff, insurance adjusters, and cleanup crews have been here most of the day assessing the damage after a lightning strike ignited a fire that burned a hole through the roof here at the Albertville Public Library. Director Tanya Blevins tells me one of the most important things firefighters were able to rescue was the library staff's cat, Max. This is footage of the library on fire shot by resident Jalen Brooks. The fire started at around 11 p.m. Tuesday night as storms were just leaving Marshall County. Leaders from Albertville Fire and Rescue believe it was caused by a lightning strike, and it caused a fire that burned through much of the roof and the ceiling inside. Blevins and other library employees have been assessing the damage alongside insurance adjusters. Blevins says it's too soon to tell just how much it will cost to fix everything. But the silver lining here, the library staff's beloved cat Max was rescued just in time.
They brought him out and he was able to get loose from them, but luckily I and another employee were close by and we were able to get him. And because he knew us, he was much calmer. We got him crated. He's now at my house enjoying all the belly rubs and the cat treats. So.
And another piece of good news here, no one was injured in Tuesday night's fire. Blevins tells me employees are looking for alternative places and times to host their summer reading programs that they do every year. They will be keeping everyone up to date on those programs on their social media. Reporting in Albertville, Savannah Sapp, 48 News, on your side.
Now coming up after the break, we'll talk about a Decatur man facing federal charge over a bomb threat at an airport out in Maine, and also catching up with Huntsville Police Officer Bruce Jansen. It's all ahead. I'll be right back in 1 minute. All right, well, hello and welcome back to Before the Four. Now, a Decatur man is facing a federal charge over bomb threats that impacted operations at an airport in Maine. A federal court complaint shows Robert Tyler Wicks is charged under a law dealing with false information and hoaxes. Court documents show Wicks sent threatening messages and made threatening calls to 2 American Airlines workers in Maine back in February while using TextMe to disguise his phone number. Investigators were able to identify the iPhone and the location. It was connected to a cell tower in Decatur. A public defender has been appointed in Wicks' case. A hearing date before a federal judge has not yet been set up, but we'll continue to update you on this situation as we continue to learn more. But now, today, I had the chance to sit down in a one-on-one interview with Huntsville Police Officer Bruce Jansen. If you all remember, a few months back, I spoke with Officer Jansen on a range of topics, including Huntsville area Crime Stoppers and what it's like working as a police officer here in Huntsville. Today, I was able to check in with him to see how everything is going since we last spoke. Let's take a listen.
Need to do, and it was, hey, come turn yourself in, and they did. They came and turned themselves in. It's much easier. You don't have to worry about, hey, if you get stopped on for a traffic violation, your car could be impounded. You know, that's extra fees and stuff that you're going to have to deal with. It's much easier just to come down to the police station, turn yourself in, and go through the court process, and that way it's much easier that way, I feel like. But hey, if you don't want to do that, there might be somebody who's interested in up to $1,000, and and if their tip leads to an arrest, then we're going to pay a tipster.
Recently, you had a guy who was actually Crime of the Week.
Yes.
Who turned himself in.
Yes.
Would you like to talk about that a little bit?
So our friends up in Lincoln County, Tennessee, contacted Huntsville area Crime Stoppers. Cato Nance, we ran him as our Crime of the Week just a couple of weeks ago. And Mr. Nance was wanted for aggravated kidnapping, aggravated domestic violence assault, aggravated 3 counts of aggravated assault, 5 counts of child abuse, neglect, and endangerment, 1 count of aggravated burglary, and let's see here, 1 count of felony possession firearm intent to go armed, which all of these are Tennessee charges. Mm-hmm. So Lincoln County Sheriff's Department got a hold of Huntsville area Crime Stoppers, and they said, hey, would you mind running our guy? And I said, yeah, let's run him. And we were 48 ran him as our Crime of the Week. We put him on our Lamar billboards, and we ran him on Wednesday night, and by Sunday he had gone to the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office in Lincoln County, Tennessee, and turned himself in on all of these warrants that he had. So that's a huge win. We're excited for Lincoln County. We hope that the victims of this crime are okay, and that the court system can proceed with whatever they need to up there.
Great interview today with Bruce Jansen, Officer Jansen. We'll have that full 48 Now interview with more details and some very interesting stories regarding Crime Stoppers and just working as a Huntsville police officer. It'll be published sometime later today, so keep an eye out for that. I also see we have a comment on Facebook from Miss Roberta Smart. Good afternoon, Roberta. I hope you have a great evening. Thank you so much for commenting. It always makes my day seeing your comments, Roberta, so I hope you have a great one. But now let's turn over to the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscasts. Improvements coming to the Lauderdale County Jail. 48's Aria Pons will have that story coming up. Another story you're just not going to want to miss, shining light on a Good Samaritan in Russellville. And finally, a retired Huntsville police officer coming back to the force. Find out who coming up in our evening newscast. And it is that time. I promised you all yesterday we would get to Facebook Fun today, and of course I have made some time to get to it. We are going back to the vintage, the old school way of doing Facebook Fun. And that is, of course, this way. Our 48 Facebook question of the day. What's a phrase you only hear in the South? Now, of course, this was yesterday's question. We're not going back to this setup. We're still going to have those fun little boxes. But for today's Facebook Fun, we're just going to have the question sitting out over this way. But what is a phrase you only hear in the South? And you all had some awesome responses. Let's go through them, shall we? Madison Stone said, I need a buggy. That is right. Here in the South, they are not shopping carts. No way. They are buggies, of course, and that is something you would only hear here in the South. Madison Stone, thank you so much for commenting. Let's see who else responded. Christy Daughtry, she said, hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit. Absolutely. That is a classic one and one of my personal favorite Southern expressions, hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit. There are so many awesome idioms and awesome things that we do here in the South that you will not see here in pretty much anywhere else in the country, only the South. Christy, thank you so much for commenting. Nancy said, how's your mama and Yes, that is another classic Southern saying. Nancy, thank you so much for commenting. Let's see, we got a couple more. Tammy Stewart, one of my favorite all-time lunches or snacks. You want a Mater sandwich? Nothing wrong with a Mater sandwich, especially if it comes from my mom's garden. She cut up those Maters. She put some salt and pepper on those things. Put it on some mayonnaise. It's got to be Duke's mayonnaise. It cannot be Hellman's. Cannot be Blue Plate. No, it's got to be Duke's. Get you a good Mater sandwich, especially on a hot summer day after cutting some grass. Yes, absolutely, Tammy, me and you both. I want a Mater sandwich. That's what I want. Thank you, Tammy. And then finally, Tanya DuBois, you ain't right. And this is something my dad would always say when I was growing up. You need to talk to the left because you ain't right. 100% Tanya, thank you so much for commenting. And there were so many awesome other phrases that you all had to mention. I did not have enough time to include those, but a lot of fixin' tos. You gotta love it. The South has some of the greatest phrases, without a doubt. But y'all, that is just about all the time I have for today's Before the Four. Thank you so much for sticking around and spending just a bit of your Thursday afternoon here. I hope you all enjoyed tonight's evening newscast. Stay tuned for Weather Extra tonight at 9:30. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You all have a great night.